Hey guys, here I am back again, this time with my good buddy Austin and Ethan. Here we are back again. I'm sorry we haven't done this together in some time. We've been like pretty busy with other stuff, but tonight, I thought this would be a great time to get together for a review, and this time we're reviewing Night of the Living Dead.
The classic.
They're coming to get you, and what what better way to do it than to celebrate 50 years of what is considered a masterpiece, but we watched the movie from start to finish to look for flaws. So let's talk in depth about this movie. Spoilers, of course. So this was directed by George A. Romero, rest in peace. And we're introduced to this character, Barbara, and her brother Johnny. They drive up to a cemetery to visit their father, and we get the obvious quote, and I'll let you get to it.
They're coming for you, Barbara.
And we get introduced to the first zombie ever. And though it does look an iconic entrance for such a horrifying character, the way they introduced it, however, is questionable because of the obvious shaky cam.
Definitely.
Yeah. And what bothers me most about Barbara, because, even though she doesn't really talk much throughout most of the movie, she does have like a dozen lines throughout the first quarter of the film.
Yeah.
And
she was a good character in the first half.
Yeah, she just proved to be
a bit useless.
Throughout the course of the movie, she was
in the first 20
useless.
minutes, she was a good character.
Most of the film, she was spent, her just reflecting on what happened in the, the first half.
that I can understand, but she barely does anything at all.
Yeah.
And she goes to the farmhouse and she's completely freaked out, obviously, and then we get introduced to our main character of this movie, Ben, and he's the real gem of this movie.
Yes, he's the best. He's my favorite character in this movie.
Yeah, he's pretty much everyone's favorite character in this movie, and I love that they didn't introduce this character and just have him be an oblivious idiot throughout the movie.
Yeah,
because there are some characters who are a bit questionable. Well, I'm not saying this is a terrible movie. I love this movie. I've loved it ever since I was a kid. But, when you're watching a film, you expect it to be a masterpiece, right? Well, you had to you had to look for flaws, and that's what we've been doing. And, I'm not saying that this is perfect. The movie itself had a low budget of $114. Even back then, that was extremely low.
It was.
And I do have to question its editing, because there is one scene in particular after Ben impales a zombie or a ghoul, in which they call them in this movie. But we're just gonna go with zombies, because this is basically the first
zombie film.
Yeah, the movie that started it all. Because thanks to this movie, we have the zombie genre, and we're grateful to George A. Romero for that. Once again, rest in peace.
Yeah, he's a great director.
He was one of the best. And where was I? The editing issues. Like I said, the one scene which was questionable was after he impaled one zombie. He, next minute later, after he impaled it, you could clearly see the eyes moving.
The eyes are moving.
I'm like, how could they not catch that?
Maybe they just couldn't edit it.
Yeah,
maybe they didn't have technology back then.
Or the budget.
They didn't have the budget.
Yeah, but I would have to say the makeup is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as for the other characters, well, there is one character, Harry, who's basically a coward.
Oh.
And he's like, the cellar's the safest place, and it isn't revealed later he's been right the whole time.
He's a shitty character.
Yeah, if I was the one writing the script for this movie, I could have written him off entirely. but no respect for the. I mean, I thought the actor was
The
fine.
actor for him was good.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was the character himself.
I think the character. I mean, he was paranoid and a bit of a coward, like I said. But Ben, however, he does act. I mean, he does act intelligent though. Like I said, he's like pretty much like one of the few characters who's an oblivious idiot. Well, maybe the only one.
The only one that is.
Yeah, because and right when the and there's one scene where they like when they find the TV and they just like give us an exposition scene of like people are coming back from the dead to seek human victims. And
No shit.
shits. And the way they explain how this chaotic event happened is it isn't some virus like they do say in like future events like Resident Evil and other
Yeah.
things and blah blah blah. And and the way they do explain it is that some satellite that shot from Venus exploded and it was carrying high levels of radiation, and it pretty much started the zombie apocalypse.
The Umbrella Corporation.
Well, Umbrella Corporation. Well, we didn't see that until the next couple years.
Yeah. We didn't see that till like 30 years later.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, and one scene where they're going to the gas pump to fill the truck up with gas. I mean, the one character when he was like filling it up with gas, he lights the torch on fire.
Yeah, at the gas pump.
Dude,
while he was
he's
trying
so
to get
dumb.
at the gas pump. When he was trying to get out of the truck, his girlfriend is in there, and she's
She got stuck.
And then, boom!
Boom! If any character was the idiot, he was
Yeah,
in that scene.
yeah, and so
Every horror
so,
movie has
so,
that
so Ben he had to like run back to the house because the place is like filled with zombies.
Yeah, there's just horde of zombies everywhere.
Yeah, and he tries to get in, and but he's locked out because Harry's
Too paranoid.
yeah. And I love the scene where he's just beating the shit out of him. I'm like, thank you.
Yes.
And he's like, I just drag you out there and feed you to those things. A decision I wholeheartedly support.
Yes, I would support that decision.
Yeah. And the zombies do eventually break in. I mean, some characters die, and basically everybody dies. It's such a dark ending. It's
It
just,
was.
and it's pain. I mean, it was like,
I wish
Lord.
Ben could have came out there alive.
yeah, we all do. But is this a masterpiece? Well, for most parts, it is pretty
Yeah,
good.
for
Yeah.
its time.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's pretty genius for its time.
yeah. And right before I'll give Austin and Ethan their thoughts on the movie. I would just wanted to tell a personal story, and my grandpa would tell me this until my ears fall off. And he told me about his first time of seeing this film in a drive-in theater. The moment when he saw the zombies like eating guts and organs and whatever, he immediately like threw up and just like left the theater and and right when his mother fed him was trying to give him spaghetti, he was like, I don't think I want to eat that right now. I swear to you, I am not making this up. He would tell me this all the time. It was just so great. So your guys' thoughts on the movie?
I thought it was a good movie overall. Although I did feel like it was lacking in some of the action department. Because in the
Yeah, because it does feel a bit slow at times.
in
Yeah.
the mid
It
section of
feels
the movie.
slow and boring at times.
But it definitely makes up for it in the climax. The movie, the zombies breaking in. I felt like definitely the whole feel of the movie was great. They captured that greatly. The horror, and I felt like the ending scene with where it had the most iconic kill. With the little girl who recently was reanimated as a zombie.
And stabbing her mother. That was the most iconic death of the movie.
Yeah,
Oh, it was.
that really captured that scene. Yeah, that was a good part of the movie. I thought that was one of the best parts of the movie.
Oh, definitely.
Oh,
Your
yes.
thoughts?
Well, Ethan pretty much said them.
Yeah. So, final verdict. I'm gonna give Night of the Living Dead a B plus.
I give it an A.
Yeah, I'll give it around a B plus. I mean, I thought that this movie for its time it's a classic, and there were a few flaws such as some of the production, the camera, and maybe bits of the movie were a bit slow. But overall, I mean, this is what started the zombie movie franchise and the genre. I mean, it was an instant success
Yeah.
from this till the Dawn of the Living, which was a great sequel.
Yeah, the Dawn of the Dead. I love that movie.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So I'm sorry if this was a little bit too rushed. Like, I mean, we took our time with Batman and Robin, and later tonight, believe it or not, we're seeing Halloween for its 40th anniversary.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe.
Yeah.
I mean,
At the theaters.
yeah, seeing John Carpenter's horror masterpiece on the big screen.
Ah, yes.